Now, Prime Minister Narendra Modi is on a visit to France and has already attended a dinner hosted by French President Emmanuel Macron. Macron received Prime Minister Modi with a warm hug as both leaders shared a candid moment. Prime Minister also met the US Vice President JD Vance and congratulated him for his great victory in the US elections. Earlier today, videos emerged from Paris showing members of the Indian diaspora chanting Modi ki guarantee as they welcomed him. Talking to social media, Prime Minister, in fact, also shared pictures of his warm welcome and thanked the diaspora for their affection. Prime Minister is expected to join French President Emmanuel Macron in Paris to co-chair the AI Action Summit that is expected to be underway anytime. Now, both the leaders will be also holding bilateral discussions and will be interacting with business leaders. Later, the two leaders will jointly inaugurate the Consulate General of India in Marseille and will pay a visit to Kadash, which is the site of the International Thermal Nuclear Experimental Reactor. CNN News 18's Siddhant Mishra is on ground leading this global coverage. He also joins me live on the broadcast. Good to see you, Siddhant, over there. Give us a sense of how significant is Prime Minister's contribution, given that we are all talking about how he is going to be co-chairing the AI summit in Paris. What does that mean for India?
Well, that's a very accurate question, Akanksha, because in fact, since yesterday, many have been talking about that how India has contributed to this AI Action Summit since Prime Minister Modi is co-chairing it with President Macron. So, Akanksha, India has conceptualized this AI Summit along with France. India is in fact a part of 5 working groups. India has also co-chaired working group on governance along with France. India is a part of screening committee. This time, Akanksha, ahead of this third AI Action Summit, the first one took place in London, the second one in Seoul. This third AI Action Summit is perhaps different because now the global discourse has moved from safety towards action. How AI can be used in more positive ways, how harms from AI can be mitigated. Perhaps that is going to be the focus of AI Action Summit here in Paris. US has always been the leader in AI. China has disrupted the markets with the launch of DeepSeek. And now the summit is taking place in Paris. Basically, there are 3 major objectives, Akanksha. One is to provide access and independent, safe AI to users. Second is environment friendly and ensure global governance of AI that is more effective and inclusive. There's going to be the leaders' declaration also, which will be adopted, Akanksha, that would add value to the existing global discourse around artificial intelligence.
Absolutely, Siddhant. It's interesting that you talk about how it is China and DeepSeek that are the buzzword at this edition of the AI Summit. Having said that, when you look at regulations and when you look at the kind of democratic inclusion that the governments all over the globe are working towards, what can we expect now in terms of the way forward, especially when it comes to open source technology versus the closed models like those of Google and Microsoft, which currently are being in fact challenged by not just DeepSeek, even Mistral of France?
Yes, that's right, Akanksha. In fact, Prime Minister Modi's vision has always been democratization of emerging technologies. Prime Minister has been speaking about it not only after China launching DeepSeek, but way ahead of that. In fact, last year, India unveiled its AI action plan, AI mission, and perhaps one of the pillars of that mission is democratization of technology. India has always been in favor of that. Since Prime Minister Modi is co-chairing AI Action Summit, Akanksha, we could hear from him more ways to democratize this technology, more ways so that this technology can reach to more and more people, because China has already set a precedent. The Chinese AI technology is more cost effective, more accessible, and it's an open source tech, as you rightly pointed out. Perhaps the same format which India has been talking about. But at the same time, Akanksha, there is a growing concern also around DeepSeek. There are concerns regarding the Chinese Communist Party's involvement with DeepSeek, whether it is safe, to what extent DeepSeek can use personal data. Also, as you are aware, when it comes to OpenAI, there are multiple cases against OpenAI, Akanksha, worldwide for copyright infringement. So those are some issues which perhaps needs to be handled at a global level, and that can only be done when leaders like Macron and Modi could come under one roof,
right,
and co-chair AI Action Summit as they are going to do today.
Absolutely, Siddharth. I'm sure you'll agree that this is a very interesting time to be in Paris at this AI summit, given it's actually happening at a time when we've seen a tipping point of sorts where the Western hegemony over open AI is currently being challenged by China. Will India also be able to do so? In fact, as we speak, those are the live visuals that we're bringing to you from Paris. The AI summit all set to be underway. Remember, Prime Minister Modi is going to be co-chairing this summit. Do expect an address over there from the French President. But world leaders and tech CEOs from across the globe all have flocked over there in full strength. And in fact, China is also going to be represented over there by the Vice Premier. In fact, German Chancellor Olaf Scholz also very much in attendance, as is the EU President Ursula von der Leyen. Now, we'll have to see the kind of topics that will be discussed, but we are being told that the AI summit will look towards democratization of the open source artificial intelligence as a technology, and how they can also come up with models that are environmentally sustainable. In fact, there you can see the US Vice President JD Vance making his way to the summit. Remember, the newly elected Vice President of the United States is the first time he's made that international trip as the US VP. And in fact, heartwarming visuals arrived early in the morning when we saw him being introduced by the French President to Prime Minister Narendra Modi. They exchanged a firm handshake, and in fact, Prime Minister also congratulated him for his great victory. There you can see the Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau also very much in attendance over there. Expect the German Chancellor also to arrive any time now. Prime Minister Modi, in fact, co-chairing this summit. Now, remember, India and France share a very special relationship, one which was also marked by French President's own presence as the guest of honor at the Indian Republic Day in 2024. Ursula von der Leyen, in fact, taking the seat over there, the EU President. And what we can tell you is that this is going to be a very interesting third edition. Let's quickly go across to Siddharth, who continues to stay with us. So Siddharth, take us through this very elite, high-profile list of attendees that we are going to be witnessing during this AI summit.
That's right, Akanksha. In fact, the invite has been extended to various world leaders. United States is being represented by Vice President JD Vance. China is being represented by Vice Premier. And Olaf Scholz has traveled from Germany. Justin Trudeau has come from Canada. So these are some major names who will be participating in the AI Action Summit. Also, Akanksha, one thing is very important to understand, that after the launch of DeepSeek, where world leaders are talking about security, democratization of technology, etc., etc., at the same time there is this growing race of who is going to be the leader of emerging technologies. And perhaps US has dominated this domain from a very, very long time. And now China has disrupted the markets with the launch of DeepSeek. The countries like France, India, Australia, UAE, some prominent countries with potential and already existing plans, ideas have also come in action after the launch of DeepSeek.